The Hobbit movies. Love them, hate them, but no one can deny that for a brief moment in 2012, 13 and 14, we were all transported back to Middle-earth, even if for a little while. Hi, I'm Alina and welcome in the tower. A channel focused on fantasy and sci-fi media. Be sure to click subscribe to be notified of all the future videos. For this list, I'm looking at tiny Silmarillion references dotted throughout the Hobbit movies. Note that this video is about the Hobbit movie trilogy, not the book. Please do excuse my accent and pronunciation of some characters and names. Let's begin! Number 5. Glamdring, Orcrist and Sting. I will start with the most obvious out of the 5. While travelling through the Troll Shores, the company of Thorin Oakenshield is attacked and captured by trolls. You know the story of how the trolls were defeated, so no sense in lingering on. Afterwards, the company discovers a cave, where the trolls keep their hoard, and in that cave, in that tiny cave somewhere in the Troll Shores, are some of the greatest treasures in all of Middle-earth. That is where Gandalf finds Glamdring, the foe hammer, Thorin finds Orcrist, the goblin cleaver, and Bilbo finds Sting. All 3 blades of the mighty elven kingdom of Gondolin, whose king was Turgon. I would have liked to know the story of how 3 of the mightiest blades of Arda ended forsaken in a troll cave, thousands of miles away from where they were forged, but alas, we will never know. Number 4. The 2 Blue Wizards. In an interesting scene in An Unexpected Journey, Gandalf and Bilbo have a little discussion about Gandalf's order. More knowledgeable fans will know that Gandalf's order, the Istari, is formed out of 5 wizards: Gandalf himself, Saruman the White, Radagast the Brown, and Alatar and Palando the Blue Wizards. While we know sufficient information about the first 3, there is virtually nothing known about the Blue Wizards apart from the fact that they travel east to Rhûn and dwell there, upholding the fight against Sauron from the eastern lands. The other thing about this scene is just how Bilbo drops this bomb on Gandalf, just like that, with no warning.
Is he a great wizard or is he more like you?
Number 3. 3 Elven Rings. While this can't be strictly considered a Silmarillion reference only, as the rings are the centerpiece theme of The Lord of the Rings, I found it relevant enough to include. I am talking of course about an extended scene in Battle of the 5 Armies, where an orc of Dol Guldur reveals to Gandalf that Sauron is after the 3 rings of the elves, right before trying to cut off his hand, where we see that Narya resides. Right after, Galadriel arrives to save Gandalf wearing Nenya, and shortly comes Elrond wearing Vilya, accompanied by Saruman. Thus the 3 rings of the elves are together once more in battle against the 9 rings of men. I only wish we had Círdan as well in the council scenes in the first Hobbit movie. Number 2. Thingol and the Dwarves of Nogrod. Probably my favourite detail in this video is presented right at the beginning of An Unexpected Journey, with cinematic callbacks to it in both the following movies. This detail was clearly meant for more knowledgeable fans, as there is no spoken reference to it, but fans are left to draw their own conclusions visually. I am talking of course about the introduction scene to the elves and dwarves, and how the relationship between Thranduil and Thror and his descendant Thorin is meant to echo the relationship King Thingol of Doriath had with the dwarves of Nogrod. Thingol commissioned the dwarves to craft for him the most beautiful piece of jewelry in existence, a necklace that had as its centerpiece a Silmaril, but the dwarves were enthralled by its beauty and stole the necklace and killed Thingol in the process. Thranduil too has quarreled with the dwarves of Erebor due to a necklace, as by movie canon the dwarves are in possession of the gems of Lasgalen, a necklace that belonged to Thranduil's wife. I sure am glad his son Legolas was the one to finally mend the relationship between elves and dwarves. Number 1. Spawn of Ungoliant. For the last reference I would like to thank Roachman, at least I hope that's how you say it, for the idea.
Spiders, Gandalf. Giant ones. Some kind of spawn of Ungoliant.
Radagast has a little piece of very interesting dialogue in An Unexpected Journey. He mentioned webs, big spiders, and Ungoliant. Of course, from the Hobbit book we already know Mirkwood is plagued with a giant spider infestation. Also in Lord of the Rings we found out Mordor has its own huge spider in the form of Shelob, devourer of orcs. But the interesting bit is the mention of the name Ungoliant. As people who have read the Silmarillion will know, Ungoliant is the mother of spiders, oldest of their kind, from whom all spiders of Middle-earth originate. She is the closest Ada has to an eldritch horror, as she was a creature so monstrous even Morgoth Bauglir, the Dark Lord of Ada, was afraid of her. And here we are, 5 Silmarillion references you may have missed in the Hobbit movie trilogy. Next on the list of videos I'm making is a discussion on whether Arwen and Legolas have ever been friends. Stay tuned for the next video. Till next time.